stars.
Emergency request. Facility Crucible requires vital materials to sustain the mission. Transmitting coordinates on Charybdis 3. End of message.
This is intriguing. A rather large amount of security for such a small place.
Human of unknown origin detected. Designated outsider. This is an undisclosed secret location. Please identify purpose or depart. Outsider is not part of plan. End of inquiry. Acknowledging receipt of emergency request. Explanation deemed acceptable. Clearance granted to Crucible. Outsider will deliver 150 units of copper. Compensation will be dispensed.
Tobias, stand down. We have a visitor.
Reminder, deliver required material. End of conversation.
This is incredible. For so long we hoped for any visit, and the day has finally arrived. Oh dear, that's a surprisingly tricky question. I'm probably not the person to answer it, but it is a genuine pleasure to meet you. We see no one, ever. Your arrival is truly an historic one, but many fear what it portends. The societies have closed their doors and are arguing about what to do, while the rest hide to see which way the wind blows. Franklin would know what to do. He's the oldest among us. You should talk with him. Crucible is a tinderbox, and any spark will set it off. We're still recovering from a deadly conflict that happened 3 years ago. Far fewer of us are here to greet you today because of it. Most of us are like me, free and unaligned. But there are 3 societies that are oft at odds with one another. The Believers, the Pragmatists, and the Renegades. It would be wise to meet each of them. Franklin leads the Pragmatists. Give it time, and I'm sure the others will come out. For curiosity's sake, if nothing else.
This feels vaguely like one of those situations that ends with, and they were never heard from again.
When your ship landed, I feared the robots would shoot you on sight. I am greatly relieved that they let you enter our community. But you come during a delicate time. Everyone will seek to use your arrival to further their own ends. No, we most certainly do not. Our relationship with them is a matter of some debate. You ask a question you already know the answer to. Yes, of course. I have need of you. But if you have a good heart and a quick mind, I am sure you will see my point of view. Where to begin? Maybe an introduction? I am Franklin Delano Roosevelt, leader of the Pragmatist Society. Well, it is gratifying that even after all these years, my name isn't entirely forgot. You see, I was an American president. Well, not literally, but in a sense I was. Everyone that lives here are clones. Some of us are clones of the greatest figures of history, and others, well, we don't rightly know. When we die, and some of us die quite often, we are brought back. I cannot imagine how strange this must sound to an outsider. Not at all. I have had occasion to see death more than anyone. When someone dies, all they have accomplished here in Crucible, all of their deeds, thoughts, are gone. And when they come back, they are different, modified. The believers say they are improved. Being reborn can take years, sometimes over a decade. But everyone comes back. Now, there is the question, isn't it? I do not have FDR's memories, but I know every nuance of his life and times. Well, as much as history records. I confess, I feel an undeniable affinity towards him. But no, I am my own man, but not all of us see it that way. Then you must live a remarkably interesting life. After decades, centuries, of trying to figure it out ourselves, there is so very much we don't know either. The robots clone us for a reason, their so-called mission. But what that is, and what we should do about it, is something the societies disagree about. Sometimes violently. It's best you meet with the other societies, and after, I promise I'll explain the pragmatists' position on matters. Well, it is one of the few concrete things we know about Crucible. If you want to truly know about the mission, the believers will tell you all about it. In fact, it can be hard to get them to stop talking about it. After you meet with them, I'll share my position. It's hard to understand my society without first understanding the others. Besides, if I monopolize your attention for too long, the other societies may get suspicious, which is counterproductive. Word has been sent, so the street should be full again. There is more I would talk with you about, but I would not take advantage of your ignorance. Go speak with Amanirenas and Genghis Khan.
I just wish the societies could get along.
The mission is a lie, but we have a chance to build a real life here on Crucible.
Welcome to town, stranger. Consider me part of the welcoming committee. The name's Wyatt Earp. and I'd be most pleased if you'd use one of the spare rooms during your stay. For a modest fee, of course. You and me both there. I do the best I can to uphold the law, but the societies make that difficult. I expect I've had as much success restraining Genghis as the Chinese did. I do what I can. Roosevelt and I are both of the same mind on that. I'm for whatever side wants to keep the peace. It means that the pragmatists and I are often on the same side of things, but you might be surprised the number of times I've had to ask some of them to back off some nonsense. I can work with that. Well, I hope you enjoy your stay. And by the by, I may have access to some essentials I've picked up over the years. Happy to sell them to you. It runs hot and cold. During usual times, it's an occasional scuffle. Maybe a black eye when an argument gets out of hand. And then a society goes on a rampage and it's tombstone all over. I hope your arrival keeps things on an even keel.
But if they all fail?
Then we've
You're always
most likely
welcome
done.
back.
Always. Is that what you want to hear?
Is that all you have to say?
That's why our aims are so important. We need to learn how to do things for ourselves. How to defend, how to use power, how to fix the plumbing, for God's sake.
I need to go out there. I want to see and do everything there is to be done. Your ship, she's a beauty. It travels the stars, right? Tell me, what's it like out there? That's just how I imagine it. My name's Amelia Earhart. When I first woke up in this place, in my head, I knew all about my namesake, her life and her accomplishments. But I also knew how to fly a starship, reactor limits, thrust acceleration, vectors, and everything. In my mind's eye, I can imagine flying out there, touching heaven itself. And yet, cruelly, here I sit. The facility keeps us alive, fed, and protected, but they do a terrible job of informing us of anything at all. My guess is the facility thought they might need a pilot one day, but your guess is as good as mine. Funny, some of us have had the same thought about you. Listen, I know you owe me nothing at all, but I would do anything to get off of here. I know the societies want who knows what from you for who knows why, and I don't want to get involved in any politics. I just want, for my single self, a chance to explore. I'd happily earn my way. Like I said, a lot of spacefaring know-how has been put in my head. Let's put it to good use, right? You won't regret it. Thanks. Do you want to talk about anything else? No, I don't. I consider myself a most ardent admirer of hers. She feels like family. Distant family. I like to think we both share a kindred spirit of adventure, though. She broke so many barriers in her life. I would love the same opportunity one day. I have a few choice, unchristian thoughts about some of them, but I'm going to stay out of it. Listen, I'd understand you making any decision you have to regarding them. Any at all. I just hope you judge me separate. I don't wish harm on anyone. I just want to explore. Goodbye, outsider.
Adhere to the mission.
I had hoped you would visit me. Good. Know that you stand before Queen Amanirenas of the Kush, queen of a dead kingdom on a dead world. But I earned my name, and even the sands of time cannot take it from me. In truly ancient times, my land lay south of Egypt, a harsh country. History is enamored of my contemporary Cleopatra, but she would have withered and died had she tried to rule my land. Your courtesy is appreciated, even though it rings hollow. My subjects are all dust. If you don't believe me, know you are not alone. Some clones deride me behind my back. I know this, but I feel in my bones that I am Amanirenas for true. The great and the terrible, to those who would oppose me. I remember things no one has told me. Memories of faces, betrayers, lovers, allies, and enemies. And the smells. The right scent. And I close my eyes. And I can picture all of it. So vividly. It aches my heart. My home. My kingdom. Have you no faith of your own? Something you hold to, even though it cannot be proven. It is the same with me. But I am certain. You speak to Amanirenas, reborn. If your mind and heart remain open, you will see the truth of it. Once, I called upon mighty armies. However, on Crucible I still lead. Have you heard of the believers? Have you heard of the mission? We are the ones who will take our rightful place in these settled systems to bring in a new glorious age and break the endless cycles of oppression and greed. So many scoff at the mission. Before we are reborn here, there are words all of us are told. That we are the chosen. We are meant to better ourselves. To learn, grow, and thrive. All of us represent the greatest figures in our history. Who better to lead the settled systems to a new golden age? You are skeptical. My advisors thought the same when Augustus Caesar stood unbeatable at Kush's border. I made war against the mighty Romans. I took their cities and fought them to a draw. No other king or queen can boast of that honor against that famed Roman. And that's just me. Some of the greatest lions of all ages are awaiting rebirth. What are bureaucrats, petty politicians, and lawyers against that? If we could do it ourselves, we would have, years ago. I do not care if you think my plan is insane. But what I want, what we want, is a chance to prove to the facility we are ready. When someone has achieved their potential, the facility is supposed to set us free among the stars. But the machines have been breaking more and more over the years, and no one has ever been deemed worthy. I need your help to properly fix the facility so that we can prove ourselves and claim our birthright. Surely someone, anyone by now would have learned the lessons the facility sought to teach. No, the machines have not aged well. The crises break upon our beach, each one greater than the last. The facility is another place on this very planet. A place we cannot go, as much as we dream of it. Then listen well, outsider. You must go to the facility. The robots and what drives them is not here. The facility is where they come from. Somewhere far to the east. None of us can travel there. But you can. Go there, please. And see if the facility can be repaired. Then report back to me.
If you arrived, others will too. Change is coming. I can't wait. Why, yes. Ada Lovelace, at your service. My namesake worked with Charles Babbage, and is widely considered the first female programmer. And to see what our little experiments led to, I only wish Mr. Babbage was here. I suppose I am what passes for one here. I have my namesake's education, so I am well versed there. But without any books or treatises from other scientists, my knowledge is limited. Some clones received specialized knowledge, like Amelia. She knows how spacecraft works. So interviewing them has been fantastic for learning more advanced scientific principles. But mainly I conduct experiments, rudimentary as they are.
Our path is a long one, and a worthy one.
Uncomfortable, truth be told. The believers are undeniably favored by the facility. Their complex receives food and materials first. When blood is spilt, the facility robots often side with them, and always the arguments and fisticuffs. Most of us just want to live in peace. I hope we can talk again.
The renegades will use any means to escape Crucible.
You can hear the howls at night.
Stranger! Weapons out! They come! There will be... The man from the stars. Come to see me. And you're not afraid to get your hands dirty. I guess the world out there is not so different than here. Genghis Khan, a pleasure to meet you. Then don't believe it. It is true his blood runs through my veins. But I am not he. Crucible tries to imprint the clones with fake memories. Genghis predated the Mongols having written records. For being so great a figure, we know practically nothing about him. When was he born? How he died? Where he was buried? A single speech he gave? Nothing. It must have driven the robots mad, trying to figure out what to do with me. Manners cost me nothing. But make no mistake, I will do whatever it takes to escape this prison. I am pleased that the dangers out here are of no concern to you. You cannot be fully human if you trap yourself behind walls. I would provide fresh meat for my society, so we don't get fat off the robots. Franklin and I see eye to eye on very little, but even he appreciates this. And I always hope to see some means of escape. Perhaps our luck has finally changed. The robots taught me many things any Mongol would know. So, hunting game, even such as this, is little challenge to me. So Franklin told you of us. Oh, that we're clones. Some of us think that makes us special. That the deeds of our namesakes are somehow ours. But that is blind arrogance. We are just people. Same as you. Same as anyone. None at all. It is as if I were a student of his life and times from an early age. I know so much about him, but that doesn't mean I am him. I am me, and I am content with this. Perhaps you are right. Certainly, many in Crucible would agree. But all this talk gets us nowhere. Too many of the others grovel at the feet of the damned robots, trying to play their roles in a broken game. The renegades will not submit, and one day, we will be free. A prison of the mind and the body. Crucible holds out a throne and says, "Obey, and it is yours." But thrones are meant to be taken, not handed to you by a machine. But it is a tantalizing lie that keeps the others in line. I do not know. Everything outside of Crucible is unknown to us. I imagine the settled systems are not so settled that a man who does not shrink from violence can't make a place for himself, though. If Crucible had not hobbled us, we wouldn't. I have died a dozen deaths trying to find a way out of Crucible. You get too far or disobey too much, then death. Crucible holds our lives in its hands. But now, the robots have made a grave mistake. You can go where none of us can. You hold our future in your hands, and all the societies know it. Oh yes, you can go 1 or 2 miles from Crucible, and you drop dead. I have no knowledge of medicine, but it's probably poison. It boils my blood to be subjugated like this. But too many of the clones are sheep. As long as their pens are clean and comfortable, they bleat their arguments. I sense fire in you. Good. You will need it. You know of the facility, yes? Go there, and make the machines let us leave. It is not much to ask, and it will set us free.
I have seen a great many things in the settled systems. More than most. Right now, words fail me.
You're the most exciting thing that's happened, well, ever.
How quickly can you get that done?
The pragmatists are the only ones who see Crucible for what it really is.
Come on, tell me.
Thing is, if I tell you, you tell someone else, and soon, my side business has competitors. So I'll pass.
Ugh, you're such an ass.
So, you have heard from the other societies. I must confess I'm very curious what an outsider thought of them, and their positions. You might be the first objectively neutral party we've ever come across. It takes more than a great person to achieve great things. Their traits need to match the circumstances. I fear we would be ill-equipped to do anything except sow chaos. The facility has gathered some of the most obstinate and dangerous personages throughout history. It has told them that they should lead in a golden age via whatever means they see appropriate. Setting us all loose and barter as a whole would invite disaster. We are barely fit to lead ourselves. A tough but fair question. I must admit the case of Amelia Earhart sometimes keeps me up at night. 'Tis safer if the rule is strict, but if you wanted to make an exception or two, I could live with that. But no one from the other societies. They are all dangerous in their own way. The most likely case is anyone that leaves Crucible would die or silently fail. But if the mission is correct, and they do take over the settled systems, in the course of history, it took millennia to cast out petty tyrants. The way ahead lies not looking to the past to literally guide us, but for this generation to learn from us. Terrible and great figures we represent had their time. We made the most of it. We should be at peace with it. Certainly. It is evident that the facility is decaying. It is both unsustainable and unwise for us to fix and maintain the status quo. Our community must be weaned off the machines, learn how to build, grow, and govern ourselves, allowed to raise families so we can pass our lessons to the next generation, and to die when our allotted time is finished. One day we will be worthy of going to the stars. We are just not there yet. Do not listen to passion. Genghis can be very persuasive, but he's a fool. In some sense, we are an abomination. A science project made for unknown ends and with uncertain results. Once we are fully human, fully self-reliant, then we should be allowed to join the settled systems. Yes, and not to be indelicate, not for lack of trying. Are we even human in this state? We have no future, only the past. I am sure in time you will see the validity of my argument. Go to the facility and see what can be done.
Over here! We need to talk.
Roosevelt is the only one that really cares about us as people.
Listen, it's not safe to talk here. It's about Roosevelt. There's something you need to know. Not here. If he found out I'm even talking to you about this... Thank you. There's a, well, cave just outside town. No chance of us being listened in on. Please, come as quick as you can. Ideally, before you go to the facility.
Yes. They're still missing so many.
I hope so. I'll meet you at the cave.
In my darkest hours, I fear for
I would kill for a new slate, of anything at all.
Surely the believers will attack us soon. We should strike first.
To what purpose?
To win!
Killing them gains us nothing. I do not seek blood for blood's sake.
But they killed so many of us.
And we killed them, and the cycle spins on. No, we must be patient and smart.
I listened to Amanirenas for years before I joined the Believers.
Change is coming. I can feel it. You came. I just can't take a chance. These clones, they're psychotic, crazy. If they find out, I'm sorry. I just can't take the chance. You're just too smart. I'm not Wyatt Earp. I wish. God, how I wish I was. I was cloned off a monster. America's first serial killer. H.H. Holmes.
Well, that is less auspicious.
He was a deranged lunatic on old Earth. In the 1890s, he owned a hotel. He'd lure people there in this crazy hotel with all sorts of terrible rooms. But I'm not him. You gotta believe me. It's like a living nightmare. If you go to the facility, I know you'd find out who I am. And if you let any of these bloodthirsty maniacs know, they'd kill me. But no, that wouldn't be the end. Every time my new clone would appear, death, torture, pure hell. I'm afraid it's you or me. I'm going to kill you. A few of the old-timers know I used to go by Bill Hickok. I mean, I had to make up a story. I always used to read the dime novels, and I figured I knew enough about Wild Bill and Wyatt to pull it off. I just had no way of knowing what my previous life had picked. So I played dumb. Roosevelt is a crafty one. I really, really don't. Besides Ada and maybe Amelia. You're the nicest person I've met. But the other clones, they would tear me apart. Don't you see? They're the monsters. I just don't want to be tortured like that. Please, please forgive me. I just don't see a way out. I don't want to die. Wyatt Earp was a hero. Maybe I can. I want to believe you. I do. I'm gonna trust you, okay? Just don't tell anyone. This never happened.
If you need to harvest any organic materials, now would be the time. I'm going to enjoy this. Sugar-pot powder. I heard something. Cannot just break it open. If you require organic compounds, now might be a good time to collect. Do you think they have burrowed into the ground here? Or they originally came up out of it? No more signs of trouble. These are such a gift. Your enemies might disappear.
I just wish the societies could get along.
You actually came from space.
Roosevelt would destroy any hope of the mission succeeding. Roosevelt and the Pragmatists vex us. True, they do help us try and maintain the facility, but they deny the mission. Such hubris. We were sent here for a reason. Why can't they see that? And Genghis and the renegades are little more than brigands spoiling for a fight. They would destroy everything if it meant they could be unleashed on the galaxy. Clearly, none of them will ever reach their potential. I am her reborn. Many here scoff at reincarnation. But why? It has been a belief of people from the earliest of times. Why is it so unimaginable it can happen? When I dream, I smell the sands of Africa. I see the vaunted Roman legions with their prickly spear walls. And I see and taste the blood. Both ours and theirs. I am Queen Amanirenas. And I am she who even the conquerors fear. We are the ones who believe in the mission. We are the great minds and leaders of history, who can bring about a new golden age. Our numbers are admittedly few, but we make up for it in our commitment to see the dream of Crucible realized. We just want the machines fixed, so we can pass the test and be allowed to leave Crucible and try to make a difference. What is this? These papers are fascinating. And frustrating. So many questions I have. But for now, we must find the security override code to open the rest of the facility. There isn't anything like that in Crucible. This I know. This other ship, the Beagle, this must have the key we seek. We originally lived in the facility. If we had stayed there and learned, surely some of us would have been chosen to leave by now. But Genghis and his bombs damaged the facility, and it has never truly recovered. We must repair the facility. That is a relief to hear. So we just have to find it. Ada Lovelace stays out of politics, but the science here is too intoxicating. She will help us. If anyone can find this Beagle, it is her.
So we did come from a spaceship. Of course we did. And there's another out there? What was the Beagle? Why did she and the Galathea part? But all of that in time. First, we must find her. She's not in this star system. I would have spotted her. I've studied the celestial bodies for years. No trace of a spaceship in orbit here or around the other planets.
As much as they can be. I am
The radio telescope. It has a default position. It resets every morning. I always wondered, why point at Bel V? Petty frustration I've dealt with for years. Perhaps the facility looks for her sister. Yes. Yes, it makes sense. I can send you the coordinates. The Bel Star system is not far. The facility communicates via a secure frequency. When you arrive, tune into that.
This unit is busy.
perfect jump.
Hello, Captain. We pose no threat here. Quite the opposite. Our ship's full of the faithful, Sanctum Universum. Happy to talk if you're inclined. I'm making another run out of New Atlantis, taking Universals out in the stars. To get closer to God and to appreciate the galaxy and all its majesty. We grav jumped to a few different systems. We're lucky to have some pilgrims who have never been off-world. Seeing so many marvels can be a life-changing experience. You're a Universal too? That's wonderful! Please, share some of our meal. Least we can do with a fellow pilgrim of sorts. Have you ever felt something spiritual while traveling the stars? I've jumped dozens of times, and I still don't know I've had the revelation that Keeper Aquilus describes. But I'll keep jumping. I completely agree. It was a pleasure talking with you. We have to be going. But I hope God watches over you out there in the stars.
Strangers, huh? We were furloughed on New Atlantis for some R&R. Just got our orders that we're shipping out. No idea exactly where. They like treating us Marines like mushrooms an awful lot. Kept in the dark and you know the rest. How about you? You are one of the strangest creatures I've ever met. A veritable anomaly. Do I have to? Fine. Private Psy says hi. No more passing messages. Decorum, Marines. So, Command signed off on our unauthorized training mission. Sadly lost some men, but training accidents happen to the best of us. Captain Torres got promoted. Sent us a goodie basket. Most of it was confiscated by customs. But there was a keg of good Aquila City beer. We raised a glass in his honor. Actually, more than one. I stand by it. You'd make a hell of a Marine. But, damn proud to know you too. Command's shipping us off to parts unknown. But would you accept a final parting gift? Who does, right? A lot of good people owe you their lives. Maybe one day some of us can return the favor. Myeong out.
Set of stars.
matter how many times we jump, it never gets old. One instant, stars rearranged. We are here. Board's operated. Successful jump. How many times we jump, it never gets old. Docking integrity, 100%. Good to go, Cap.
Ready to tackle whatever the Starfield throws at us.
I have never been one to spend much time in bed, but
You keep installing new cool things in your ship. It's like Christmas every day.
it is good to be back in our own ship.
Pleasant to see you.
Damage. Unable. Repair not possible.
Temperature is spiking. Not quite so bad as walking on the surface of a star, but definitely uncomfortable. certainly made sure to bring along plenty of robots.
Please don't go. We can do the experiment here. The facility has everything we need.
Our protocols say we are looking for planets with a 70% plus confidence level. The facility, barely 50%.
And how many planets have we surveyed? On Earth, they didn't know what we would find. My friend, we are getting old. Too old. If we want to have any chance to start the experiment ourselves, the facility is it.
When I was given my command, I swore an oath to adhere to the mission. Dr. Chang, you realize you are a mutineer. You've abandoned us.
The perfect is the enemy of the good. If you can't see that, then I guess there's nothing more to be said.
Failure.
The spoils of victory. Hopefully they amount to something.
Massive damage. Systems.
ship's no longer docked. We're free.
Outsider, this is Amanirenas. Please, we have a dangerous situation developing on Crucible. I could use your assistance immediately.
To what do I owe this pleasure? I can do that.
Good. You have come. Genghis Khan knows you have been to the facility. And unless we meet, he has said he will war upon us. I have asked Roosevelt to join our talks. In our last conflict, the Pragmatists were useful allies. Hopefully, they will fight with us again. Genghis does not negotiate. If you are unwilling to let him leave, there will be blood. But this is worth fighting for. The mission says that only the chosen should be freed, and I think Genghis is the least likely to merit that. If you control the facility, you control the mission. He has made it clear that unless the renegades are allowed to leave Charybdis, he will fight. Know that we meet under a flag of truce. If any of us violate that, we are outcasts. So no matter the provocation, no battle. Let's go.
Good. I see the outsider is here.
Speak your words, Genghis. But know that I have no fear of battle, for my cause is just.
I know you've been to the facility. I know you have conspired together. Blood does not need to spill today, as long as the outsider promises one thing. Let the renegades go free. I have no idea. I just don't know what's out there. But the renegades will live, fully, and as well as we can. We will not meekly go back to ourselves, outsider. Franklin, I know we have been at odds.
Over many, many incarnations.
But surely imagining the believers triumphing sets your blood to boil.
Genghis. The mission is pure fiction. Of this we can both agree. The best outcome of any of us leaving in our present state is to fail in obscurity. But if one of us succeeds, it would visit untold misery upon the settled systems. Stranger, can't you see why we're not ready to leave Charybdis yet? I had hoped to convince you. Alas.
If the mission even has a shred of a chance to be realized, can't you see, Roosevelt? We must take it.
Amanirenas, the Pragmatist will not fight today.
Coward!
As I was saying, I implore you, if the facility can give us more independence...
No. The mission must be allowed to continue as it is intended.
I sincerely hope you are right about all of this, Amanirenas, because this is our one chance at fixing it.
That went as expected. Are you ready to fight, outsider? Today the Khan falls.
You're mine.
Triumphed, and you are the reason why. All that is left is to go to the facility and restore the mission. And our prayers go with you.
Blood runs in the streets again. I had hoped, however naively, that we were past that. I do not hold you responsible, but your arrival was certainly a lethal catalyst. May I help you? I believe your intentions are pure, but the stakes are ever so high. Perhaps I should have predicted all of this. With frightening regularity, as bad as this was, 3 years ago the streets were full. Until Genghis Khan struck. We've a third of our number since that day. Fewer now. I maintain a steadfast neutrality. You must make your own determination. So your mission to the Beagle was a success? Let me see. It is done. There is a standard cipher used by the facility. It took me many years and, well, lifetimes to overcome. And now, the mysteries of the facility await you. I pray you choose what befalls us wisely.
There is no one I would rather see right now. I will watch your back. Let us see what wonders of life this planet hosts.
Repair not possible.
Die today. Winner takes all is the phrase, is it not? Take what you must. Leave the rest for the scavengers. I also wish to be prepared for any situation, but there are practical limits, no? Hello, love. If I can take a few things, I will. I'm sorry to see you go.
You are a stalwart ally. Now all that remains is the facility. You have handed me the keys to the kingdom. I promise I will work tirelessly to see the mission realized. Know that you are always welcome here. May the sun always be at your back.
Amanirenas has won. I sincerely hope the mission is everything she hopes it is. As much as I disagree with the believers, Amanirenas' heart is in the right place. Who knows what changes may come, but I think Crucible, at least, will know peace. What? Why would this infernal place choose to bring back that abomination of all people? But he's not Holmes. I've worked with Wyatt for many years. He is a good man, but I can see it's been eating him up. Exactly. He's chosen a better path than his forebear. Listen, don't tell anyone else. I'm not sure what the others would do. We should be judged by our actions, not ancient history. My feelings about my namesake are complicated. He was a great but flawed human being. On one hand, he guided a country through the ravages of depression and war admirably. He tirelessly fought to improve the lives of the poor and disadvantaged. But as a husband, he was unfaithful. And as a colleague, he was a consummate politician, which is sometimes good, often distasteful. He was truly a great man, and I must confess, I am proud to share his heritage. Goodbye.
I need to go out there. I want to see and do everything there is to be done. You've taken the Crucible by storm, haven't you? So, I begged Amanirenas to let me get out of here, and she gave the okay. It's her call now that she's in charge. What do you say? Will you bring me with you? I'll do my best. Like I told you before, I woke up with all kinds of knowledge about how to fly a starship. I'll make a great co-pilot. Don't you worry. She let me go because she doesn't see me as a threat. I'm not out to topple governments or anything like that. I just want to explore. And I promised I'd keep quiet about Crucible. I think that was enough to convince her. I told you when we met that I'm steadfastly apolitical. I intend to stay that way, if you don't mind. Golly, thanks! You have no idea what this means to me. I swear you won't regret it. I just need to say a couple farewells, and then I'll hit the road. See you out there.
So much to do. Being an admin is a great responsibility. I feel like my joy cannot contain my body. I know in my head the chance any of us will succeed is small. But now we have a chance. A real chance. And all because of you. As you wish, outsider.
The mission seems so far-fetched. I suppose we'll see. Your visitation is a prayer answered. It's always a pleasure.